Hello everyone, I'm Sylvester Juna Iwanga. Now I'm going to present about teaching vocabulary and its respective techniques. Hope you guys enjoy it. Teaching vocabulary and its respective techniques. Now we are going to the next slide. Vocabulary or lexis. Vocabulary is essential to convey meaning. A lot of proposition vocabulary work is taught as a part of either a reading or listening skill lessons. Students may encounter new vocabulary during the courses of her skill lessons, and you will need to select the vocabulary which is essential for understanding the task set. Pre-teaching new vocabulary will usually ensure that activities and tasks go ahead with limited disruption and a clear understanding of what is required of the students. Having said this, it is important to note that vocabulary can be taught on its own and not just simply as an add-on to a skill lessons. Basic lesson procedure. 1. Warmer. The teacher set up a context, perhaps using a short story, which will illustrate the meaning of an item of language. 2. Brainstorm or elicit. The teacher elicits language from the student regarding the particular topic or item. This language is written on a word spider on the whiteboard. 3. Oral practice of vocabulary. The teacher checks understanding, highlight form and pronunciation, and give controlled practice or drilling. 4. Written practice of vocabulary. The students work together to practice the specific items. This may involve matching pictures to the correct words or using the appropriate words in a gap fill exercise. 5. Speaking or communicative activity. The students are given the opportunity to use these items, along with other language they know, in communicative activities. This may involve a role play or class discussion. Presentation of vocabulary. It is important to remember that your students won't need to produce every word they learn. Some of them they will just need to recognize. Productive vocabulary is that vocabulary that we tend to use on daily basis. Receptive vocabulary refers to words that we understand yet do not use ourselves. Once you have chosen what to teach, the next important steps are to consider what students need to know about the items and how you can teach the items. How you can teach them. Meaning of words. The meaning of word is not as clear-cut as we might assume. Different languages may interpret the meaning of words in different ways. Certain words in a given language may have no direct translation in another language. When we presenting a new vocabulary item to your student, there are certain important questions that you might consider. For example, 1. What does it mean? 2. Do the student know other words which will help them get at the meaning of the target item? 3. Does it have more than one meaning? 4. What does the item not mean? 5. Does the item have a limited range of a meaning? 6. In what sort of context might you find the item? 7. Are there any connotation associated with the item? 8. Once you have presented meaning, how can you take understanding? The meaning of words may be presented to your students in a number of ways. 1. Visual stimuli, such as flashcards, photos, whiteboard drawings, realita or the real thing, etc. These all help to create an association between the word and the visual stimulus and ultimately assist students with recall of these particular vocabulary items. 2. Miming or gesture to convey meaning. You may find it useful to demonstrate or mime the word to convey its meaning quickly. 3. Verbal means. This may involve a simple translation of the word into the mother tongue. A simple definition, example, the use of concept question, or ascertaining meaning from context. 4. Peer tutoring. You could put the students in a pair or small groups and get them to explain the words they don't know to each other. This is a good idea as a student retain more of what they attempt to teach others than what they experience directly themselves. We also have translation of a word may bring about its own set of problems. As words seem to live within their own particular language, there often isn't a direct translation for a word or phrase. One possible solution to these potential problems is to encourage students to guess the meaning of words they don't know. Next, definition and example. Try and avoid giving explanation by illustrating by example or personalizing. You may, however, give the student an explanation of the new word or phrase in English. You may also find that dictionary definitions are often difficult and complicated. Next, concept questions are close-ended, demanding a yes/no answer. And then, meaning in context. This could be within a written text, audio, video, or even a play and is by far one of the most useful and powerful way to convey meaning. Here are 3 types of context clues. The first one, other keywords or phrases in the sentence that point to the meaning of a word or phrase. Next, sentences that use comparison or contrast between words, suggesting that a word may mean the same synonym or the opposite antonym of another word. 3. Word or phrases that follow another word closely and seems to rename or define it. And the last one is use of dictionary. Students should be encouraged to purchase an English dictionary and be taught how to use it properly. Relationships between words. Relationships between lexical items are extremely useful in assisting an initial understanding of the words and as a key to remembering and recording them. The meaning of the word is often clearest when they are seen in a relation to other words. A word may, for example, typically occur with the other words. For example, depend on. Words often have an opposite or antonym or a synonym of similar meaning, which may provide clarity or meaning to a particular lexical item. For example, the word terrible may be explained to the students as the opposite of good or as having a similar meaning to bad. It is also important to consider whether these meanings are exact or whether they are loose. Another relationship which you may consider is whether there are set of words associated with which the particular lexical item might be presented. Example, boiling, hot, warm, etc. Furthermore, are there any other words which sound the same, homonyms, or are spelled the same that might cause some confusion? For example, hair, hair, and hair. And then sense and sense. Tense and tense. Grammatical consideration. When looking at individual lexical items, you may consider how these individual words interact with each other between grammar or syntax. This may prompt you to think about what part of speech the lexical item is that you wish to present to your students. Present, present I mean, past, future, or continuous tense. Is it possible that the other parts of speech may be formed from it? And to study know this, for example, adding ing to walk to form the continuous form, walking. Spelling and pronunciation of words. The spelling and pronunciation of individual words is important in terms of avoiding ambiguity and possible confusion in meaning. As mentioned in the earlier chapter on writing, incorrect spelling may often give the reader the impression that the reader is careless and lacks education. Here are a few examples from American and British, and you can see in the slide. Style of words. When looking at a particular lexical item, you might want to consider whether the item is formal or colloquial, or we can call it as a informal spoken in language. In short, style is to do with variation in formality, and style can be divided into the following useful categories. First, casual. 2, informal. 3, formal. And the last one is frozen. Frozen style is the name that has given to things like public notice, which are universally recognized wherever you go in an English-speaking country. Considering specific lexical and structural errors, it is strongly recommended that teachers attempt to find out as much as possible about typical linguistic difficulties that their students may face when learning English. This will enable the teacher to better understand the specific needs of their students and is a useful starting point for addressing these needs. Refer to the typical lexical and structural errors of Malay speaker, or we can call it Malaysian, and you can see the table in the slide. Ideas for the classroom. There are many and varied vocabulary activities and exercise. Okay guys, that's all my presentation today, and hopefully you get the point, and thank you for your attention. See ya.